What's going on, boxing fans? It's Julian Williams with The Distance. I'm here for my post-fight video for Devon Alexander versus Juan Urango. Big surprise to me. I thought that Juan Urango was going to win the matchup. I only gave Juan Urango like one round. That was the sixth round. I believe it was 5 or 6. I was a little out of it watching the fight. You know me, my normal fight ritual. Drinking Smirnoff Ice and watching boxing. It's kind of what I do these days. But anyway, the fight itself played out a whole lot differently than how I expected it to play out. Devon Alexander came out. He boxed beautifully in this fight. He was controlling the fight. You know, his jab. He kept his range away from Juan Urango in the very early goings of the fight. Didn't let Juan Urango get a chance to come on the inside and bang with him. He didn't slug it out with Urango. I did make a mistake when I made the prediction for the fight. I did say that Alexander had never been past 12. He has been past 12 a couple of times. But you know, when I made the prediction, I was a little out of it, you know, because I had just came back, from surgery and stuff, and I was kind of out of the loop of things. So he had been past 12. I do admit that I do need to do a little more looking into fights. I usually do, but this time I kind of did. I did to kind of update everybody and let people know I was still there, but I didn't fully analyze the fight the best way that I should have. It was probably one of my worst predictions, but overall, let's get onto the fight. First 3 rounds, Devon Alexander boxed beautifully. Kept the jab right in Urango's face, putting his punches together very well. Other than putting his punches together well, he was moving around the ring. He kept range, he kept his range, and Urango just was not able to capitalize on the inside. He kept leading in with the wide right hook. He kept just kept coming forward. He kept trying to bring the action to the fight. Trying to bring the action to Alexander. Though he did have his times that he did, kind of get his right hand in. Alexander kept his left hand tucked, and kept it tucked very tightly. And Urango wasn't able to land the right hand, on Alexander, which is pretty much his big money punch, the right hand. But Devon Alexander, was opening up very well on Urango, and Urango just kept coming forward. He kept trying to apply pressure, but he wasn't able to apply pressure to Alexander, because Alexander kept moving. He wasn't necessarily boxing from angles, but he had constant movement. It didn't give Urango that shot that he wanted. And in a way, it seemed like it was frustrating Urango, the fact that Urango does a good job of fighting fighters who's going to slug it out and have their feet set, but Devon Alexander, didn't have his feet set. He constantly moved, constantly kept his jab in Urango's face. Constantly, was starting to open up in the later rounds. And there was times in the early goings he was starting to open up, and then in like the 6th round when Urango, the only round I thought that Urango won, which I thought was the 5th or 6th round, Alexander, he just kept punches in his face. He was throwing all kinds of combinations, and really the round that Urango won, I thought he barely won, but he was landing some big shots and they weren't even hurting Alexander. Alexander, just had constant movement and boxed very beautifully in this fight. Other than boxing beautifully, he showed to me that he's probably a future force in the light welterweight division. We saw after the fight, and to the 8th round. 8th round was very surprising. I almost forgot about the 8th round. The 8th round was surprising. No fighter has ever put Juan Urango down. Juan Urango is a fighter that's still, in his prime. He's not a past prime fighter. He's still in his prime. The fact that Ricky Haddon and Andre Berto couldn't do this, couldn't knock out Juan Urango, says a lot, about Devon Alexander. I didn't think that Devon Alexander had the power to actually knock out or even knock down Juan Urango. But the uppercut, left hand, right uppercut, put him down. And then put him down the first time in the 8th round, and he got up. He went down again. it was kind of it did seem like an equilibrium shot, but he did land another uppercut as Urango went down. But overall, that was a big shock, a big surprise. Devon Alexander, has his stamp of approval from me. Devon Alexander proved to me that he's going to be a force to be reckoned with at the light welterweight division. Honestly, for some reason, I have a feeling that it's a possibility he could lose that WBC championship. I believe that they may strip him. Who knows? Because Timothy Bradley got stripped of it because he wouldn't fight Wither. I don't know. I hope that Devon Alexander keeps both championships. To be quite honest, I really hope that he does keep both championships. But tell me this: what's up with that post-fight interview with Zab Judah? Zab Judah has fought only one fight in a year, and now he already wants his shot at Devon Alexander. Zab Judah is kind of a been there, done that case. Zab Judah, should have. Who I do think could still fight at 140. I think that Zab Judah should not have stepped in the ring and tried to kind of rain on Alexander's parade and talk about how he won the championship against Spinks in St. Louis, whatever. Nobody cares anymore. That was back in 2005. That was 5 years ago. When he knocked out Spinks to win the undisputed welterweight championship. But it's like who cares? Zab Judah should stay. If Zab Judah wants a shot at Devon Alexander, he needs to stay busy. He needs to fight light welterweight contenders, if you ask me. Could the fight happen next? Possibly. We could see Zab Judah versus Devon Alexander next, because Zab Judah still possesses a name. That's really all he possesses. But does he possess a challenge? Fast-handed, quick-handed southpaw, it could be difficult for a lot of fighters, but at the same time, Devon Alexander, I believe, is a southpaw. So, really, it's not much. But Zab Judah, all he possesses now is a name. He hasn't been busy. Only fought one fight, in the past year or so, and that was in November or October, around that time. So, what does Zab Judah have to offer now? Honestly, Zab Judah should have kept his mouth shut. I like Zab, but in this case, I guess he was trying to do the Shane Mosley thing, and I guess it kind of backfired. That has to be the biggest epic fail of boxing, other than my Urango versus Alexander prediction. That has to be the biggest epic fail in boxing. Zab Judah coming into the ring after the fight. But anyway, that was my post-fight video. I had Devon Alexander winning every round except for round like 6. It's the only round I didn't have him winning, and I thought Urango edged it out in that round. But anyway, that was the distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.